Now, from your local news leader, this is 6 News.
Police are investigating members of the Lansing Neighborhood Council after an audit into the council's financial records doesn't add up. And that is our top story at 6. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Greg Adeline. If you live in Lansing, you may have heard of the Lansing Neighborhood Council. The group is supposed to spearhead family events in the capital city, but today the group is in hot water.
That's right, and I'm Jane Aldrich. As first reported by our media partners, the Lansing City Pulse. An audit raised questions about how council members manage their funding. Right now, members are meeting at the Alfreda Schmidt Southside Community Center.
And that's where we find 6 News reporter Mariah Harrison. She's been following the story today and joins us now live. Mariah, we know the meeting just started, but what's the latest on the investigation?
Well, Greg, while this meeting is just getting started behind me, trouble for the Lansing Neighborhood Council started on Friday. That's when a private auditor filed these papers filled with details into their financial records. And from the looks of the report, he didn't like what he found.
Well, my understanding is that there were questions and discrepancies about their budget.
A budget the Lansing Neighborhood Council nonprofit organization has controlled since 1980.
The money had been mishandled and mismanaged.
A subcontractor of the council came to Planning and Neighborhood Development Director Bob Johnson with concerns. Apparently, he wasn't paid for his work.
And I notified the Lansing Neighborhood Council that this was brought to my attention, and they met with me, and we then went through the process of discovery.
What they discovered only turned up more questions about money management.
We commissioned an audit to look at the cash handling practices, and there were things that were discovered that were unbeknownst to us at the time.
According to Lansing Mayor Verge Bernero, nearly 95% of the council's funding, about $54,000, comes from the city.
So we are responsible for how those dollars are spent.
6 News obtained a copy of the audit. In it, the auditor notes that the policies of the LNC are lacking or not in compliance with the Community Development Block Grant requirements. The audit also found that employees got paid for lunch breaks and had unlimited sick and vacation time. So this is the office of the Lansing Neighborhood Council, and when I stopped by to ask them questions regarding the investigation, I found the lights off and the door locked.
I like to think the best of everyone involved, but unfortunately there are some irregularities that have to be addressed.
So for now, the city has cut cash flow to the LNC.
These are public dollars. They have to be publicly accounted for, and they were not handled properly.
Mayor Bernero says all services provided by the Neighborhood Council will be moved in-house. That's to say people living in the capital city will have nothing to worry about. Bernero also made a point to say that the city does not have the power to disband the Neighborhood Council. So hopefully this meeting will shed some clarity on what the Lansing Neighborhood Council should do moving forward. Live in Lansing, Mariah Harrison, 6 News.
Thanks, Mariah.